And welcome back to Nancy's Neighborhood, folks. And I'm going to give you a few events that are coming up that you may want to attend. The first one being, if you're, like I said, if you're watching us on Facebook or YouTube, then this is tomorrow night, Thursday night, January the 24th. And if you're watching us on Charter or Comcast, then it is tonight, Thursday, January 24th. At 6 o'clock will be the Sacred Harp singing at the Museum Center or Shape Note singing. And I am going because I'm just curious about Shape Note singing. I always have been, always been aware of it. So we think, Judy Baker thinks it's free, but if it's not, it's free to museum members and probably just $5 to non-members. And so if you want some more information, you can go to www.museumcenter.org or you can call 339-5745. Now, there's a lot of other things coming up at the museum, and I sent these in to Alex and Adrian, and I don't know whether they're going to put them up on the screen or not. I was hoping they would so that you could kind of see the information, but I don't see that it's going up. Okay, the first one is Brouhaha, and that's at the Museum Center this Saturday on the 26th from 1 to 5, and the admission is $35 for museum members and $50 for non-members. So you can join the local brewers that are there and distributors that are there to celebrate the miracle of beer with a refillable tasting mug. Now, a lot of these people have these little breweries in their backyard, in their workshop, in their garage, and this is kind of a fun thing to do, and all the proceeds go to support the museum, which is great. And then on Sunday, January 27th, there will be the 15th annual Grape Escape, and that'll be at Cafe Roma beginning at 5:30. And this is an evening with great food, with selected wine pairings, and an auction of wine and related items. And it's a fundraiser for the museum. Now, it's a little pricey. The silent auction begins at 5:30, and the admission is $110 for museum members and $135 for non-members. And here again, you can go to www.museumcenter.org for more information. And then also this weekend, beginning on the 25th, the Athens Area Council for the Arts is going to have the from Louisiana, the Revelers, to the Sue Trotter Theater on White Street in Athens. And for more information, you could go to athensartscouncil.org. Now, the tickets in advance are $15, and you can go online and purchase your ticket, or at the door, $20, or $10 for students, or $15 at the door. Now, this is a limited space black box theater, folks, so you need to remember that. So if you think you want to go hear the Cajun music and they're going to do some country and some things like that. So if you think you want to do that, then you need to go online, www.athensartscouncil.org, and get your tickets. Great situation for concerts. I've been there before, and it is great. Now, on February the 1st, like Judy said, we have the Glenn Miller Orchestra coming in, and Dwight left me this lovely piece of paper, but you're going to see it up on the screen, which is better than this. I mean, he said it was gold, and that's what it is. But up on the screen, you will see that it's going to be at Cleveland Country Club, and this should be a fun event. This is Allied Arts of the Cleveland-Bradley Chamber of Commerce is sponsoring this event, and it's going to start at 6 o'clock at the Country Club. And Jack and Ollie Hall, who are ballroom dancers, have been for years, and they are legendary. They will be teaching ballroom dancing to anyone interested in doing that. At 7 o'clock, dinner will be served, and about 7:15, the Glenn Miller Orchestra will take over. And there is dancing during their performances, and they do have, usually they've had two vocalists, a female and a male, and the meal has been absolutely superb. Now, because this is a meal, a sit-down meal with filet and everything that goes with the filet, you have to make reservations. We will not be selling tickets at the door. So you go to www.clevelandchamber.com, or you call 472-6587, or you call Dwight at 715-0030. And get your tickets. Now, tables are $1,000, and that's tables for 8, and you will be listed in the program with your table as a sponsor. So you might want to do that. I've told y'all the other day, I purchased a table, but and I invited 7 of my closest friends who are going to pay me back. You know, we're going to divide the cost of the table by 8, and everybody's going to pay that instead of $100. But they wanted to do that because that's what we did last year, and it's a great event. So that is the February the 1st, and then also the storytelling concert is at the museum that night, starting at 7, and it's free to museum members, $5 to non-members, and with a max of $15, Judy said, for the family. So if you've got a family of 6, it's just going to cost you $15. Okay, so that's a great event too. So both of those are Friday night. Now, excuse me. We have some other things going on. Let me turn the page here so I can tell you about some other things. Athens Arts Council is also going to present Alice in Wonderland, and they're going to have that later this spring. But right now they have to have auditions. So this will be Children's Theater, and it'll be February the 3rd at 2 o'clock and February the 4th at 7 o'clock. So any of you all from here that want to go up there, I know they did Shrek last year, and a person from Cleveland was Shrek. So they do accept us up there, and they do allow for us to audition. And this would be, now you know you're going to have Alice, but you're going to have the Mad Hatter, and you're going to have Tweedledee and Tweedledum, and you're going to have all these other characters. You're going to have the Queen. You're going to have her soldiers. You're going to have all these other characters from Alice in Wonderland, Alice Through the Looking Glass. So this should be wonderful. And as soon as I know the date of the performance, I will let you all know about that too, because I think that will be extremely interesting. Now, on Thursday night also, we have the shape note singing at the museum, but if you're not into shape note singing, then go over to Lee University. They're going to present Holritz and Lee in a faculty recital at the Squires Recital Center in the Lee Humanities Center. It starts at 7:30, and it is a free, non-ticketed event that's open to the public. Now, I will tell you, that doesn't seat 500, 700, 1,000 people. So if you want to go, get there and get your seat, and it is free. Now, on Sunday, the 27th, the Southern Adventist University Symphony Orchestra will present a concert at 4:30 at the Seventh-day Adventist Church there, and the concert will feature the works of Mozart and Tchaikovsky. And this event is free and open to the public. So I hope any of you all that want to hear high-class music will do that. Now, UTurn Institute, that is what used to be Westmore Church of God. And it's there on 25th Street, and they're going to offer some free classes. And these free classes are January through March. So when it's kind of like taking a semester course. When you sign up in January, you'll go the rest of this month in January, which will only be Sunday the 27th and that week. And then you go into February and March. So we have listed on the screen for you the things that they're going to be offering and the times that they're going to be offered. So jot those down if you're interested. These are free, and there's also information of where you go online to register or a phone number that you can call. And so some of you all may be dealing with some of these things, and of course we had the ladies from New Hope, and people deal with things, folks, that we don't know they're dealing with. And so these are some good opportunities for you to go and take some time out in your life and settle down into these because they're going to have living with devastating diagnosis, grief share, domestic violence, coping with depression and anxiety, improving your health, soul print, and your story is unique. And then on February the 21st, we've moved out of January into February 21st, from 6 until 8, ATS The Bridge. And I had Reba on at the last show. And they're going to offer free to the public The Addicted Brain, and you see the flyer up there. And that will be Tim Hilton from Bradley Health Services will be leading this, but it's an understandable look at the disease of addiction from a recovering addict. And sometimes, folks, that's very hard for that person to do, very hard for us to hear, but something we need to be aware of because the opioid crisis in Bradley County it's amazing, folks. It's totally amazing. It is large, and it is destroying families, and it is destroying lives. So this will be in the Rose Lecture Hall of the Education Building on the campus of Lee University, and it'll be from 6 to 8. So there's no reservations necessary. You just show up, or you can contact Robert Fisher at rfisher@leeuniversity.edu, rfisher@leeuniversity.edu, and he will tell you exactly how to get where you're going and what you need to know. Now, I've mentioned this before with Judy, and go to the clevelandchamber.com, www.clevelandchamber.com, and up in the upper left-hand corner, there is an icon that says one calendar, one community, or maybe it says one community, one calendar. Anyway, punch on that, and you can go in and you can see all the kinds of things that people have put on the calendar, events, happenings, educational programs, etc. You do not have to be a member of the chamber to list your event on that calendar. It is a community calendar. It was originated by the Allied Arts and Leisure Council of the Cleveland-Bradley Chamber of Commerce. We used to send out a flyer, a trifold, that told everything a quarter that was going on, and that got to be, you would let us know 3 days after we printed the flyer that you had an event coming up. So that was not working. So we said, what can we do? So what can we do is put this icon on the chamber website, and you can go on. And so it's open to the community. If you're not a member of the chamber, but SPCA of Bradley County is having an event, go put it on that calendar. And then you as an individual out in the community, go on that calendar and see what's going on, because these are events that are happening in our community. Sometimes they're free and sometimes they're not, but they'll let you know that also. And then, you know, we've talked about, we have the Veterans Funeral Honor Guard. They're always looking for volunteers. And I had Mr. Smith and Mr. Thomason on with me a couple of months ago, and they assured me that you do not have to be a veteran to serve in their honor guard. So if you're interested in being a member of the Veterans Funeral Honor Guard, give Roy or John a call, and you see their numbers up on the screen, because they're always looking for volunteers. And folks, on days like today when it's miserable, I mean, you know, we don't plan our own funeral. Somebody else has to plan it. And the days that we're buried may be days like today, or they may be days like yesterday when it was really cold, or they may be 4th of July. But anyway, volunteers are needed. And then the Hiwassee River Rail, I got to get them back on here, because they do so many cute things, and there's so many great railroad trips. And I think most of y'all know I was raised in a family where my granddaddy worked for the L&N Railroad for 50 years. And so, and my mother during World War II was a Red Cross volunteer at the depot in Etowah, and the soldiers coming through, and it was a major depot at that time. So, so I grew up riding the train, and I loved riding the train. We had permanent passes because of Granddaddy, and we would ride the train to Knoxville to the football game, and then get a cab over to the ball game. And so, you know, these were things as a kid that I did. We rode the train to Cincinnati to visit my uncle. You know, I rode the train to visit one of my friends in Withville, Virginia when I was in college. So I loved riding the train. I really wish there was a way we could bring the trains back, because they are great forms of transportation. Very interesting. I feel more comfortable on a train than I do in a plane in the air, but that's okay. You know, you have to do what you have to do to get where you have to go. And right now, speaking of in the air, I want to thank the Walker Valley Band and all of the professionals that went with us. We had a great time in London. I survived. The kids survived. I was not a white knuckle flyer. We did hit a little turbulence, but we kept the whole week was slam packed for the kids. And they were the great representatives of ours in the New Year's Day parade in London. So, so that was a great event. So, folks, it's been a great day in Nancy's neighborhood. I'm sure when I leave the studio today, it's going to be raining. But I hope everybody's had a great day with us today in Nancy's neighborhood. So for today, bye-bye.